Welcome, welcome, welcome. Still burning, you burning your sage. All right now, good. Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Indigo Room. I am your host, Sydney Chase, and this is where we discuss all things spiritual. Here's some sage for you. And by that, I mean that we are non-physical spiritual beings having physical human experiences. Life is supposed to be good. It's supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be delicious, even when it's wicky wacky sometimes. And tonight's topic, are you ready? Thinking positive, and feeling negative when law of attraction doesn't work. And a lot of times people tell me that they're thinking positive and nothing is happening. Sydney, it's not working. So I wanted to just address a little bit of that tonight. And we're just going to relax. You guys can share some of your thoughts, how you feel, what's going on with you. But I wanted to touch on that because it seems to be a big topic for a lot of people lately. I'm getting it in my inbox. I'm getting it in my Facebook Messenger. I'm getting it in my DMs. I'm getting it in my emails. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And before we, of course, get started, we're going to tickle our amygdala because that helps us to open up our frontal lobe. Yeah. And when we light up our frontal lobe, you're able to comprehend, you're able to understand things better. And if you haven't been tickling your amygdala, if you don't know what that is, just hang out with us here in the Indigo Room. I will explain it to you. And I want to welcome Barb and Sharon into the chat. I just want to check and find out if Linda sent me a text message. Because usually she's here. She says checking in, so maybe she's having a little bit of a hard time logging in. All right. Okay, Linda. We're here. You may hear Cleopatra. I did put her in the room, but she has a really heavy bark. She's a little dog. She's a little beagle. She's not a big beagle. She's little. But she barks like she barks like she is a pit bull or a Rottweiler. For real. People think sometimes that I have a Rottweiler in the house. So tonight's topic again is thinking positive and feeling negatively. And does this have anything to do with why law of attraction is not working for you? So we're going to tickle our amygdala first. Let's do that right now. I want you to go find your feather. You like my little fairy lights? I turned them on tonight. I always have them on, and I always have them, but I never put them on when I'm on the show because I think that, they might be annoying, but I love them. I put them on all the time. They're Christmas lights, or, supposed to be Christmas lights, but I like to have them on all year round. So I want you to go find your feather. You know where your feather is. And if you've never tickled your amygdala before, your amygdala is right here on either side of your temple. You have one on the left side, you have one on the right side, and they're about right about here. And they're shaped like little almonds. And when your amygdala is closed, you are in fight or flight mode. That means that you can't think, you're fearful, you got a lot of stuff going on, you're feeling all wicky wacky in your mind. And when your amygdala is clicked open, that is when you are feeling good, you are feeling joyful, you are feeling happy, and lights up your frontal lobe. And when that happens, you can expand, your consciousness. You can feel better. It's a really great way. It's an emotional hack. And this is for people who have never been to the Indigo Room and they want to know why we tickle our amygdala all the time. This is a tool that you can use at any time of the day, no matter where you are. And it helps to flex your imagination muscle. So we're going to tickle our amygdala right now. I want you to close your eyes. Imagine that you have a feather in your hand. You decide what color your feather is going to be. I'm just telling you to imagine that you have a feather in your hand. So what does your feather look like to you? Is it long? Is it short? Does it have stiff bristles? Is it soft? Is it a little rough? Is it smooth? You decide. And you decide the color. So I want you to now, once you've got the color in hand, feel the sides of your feather. What does it feel like again? Is it bristly? Is it soft? Is it smooth? Really get into your imagination and imagine that you are feeling it on either side of your fingers, just like I am. Just imagine that. And don't tell me you can't imagine, because I know you can. You can do it. So just imagine that. Okay, once you've got your feather in check, in your imagination, I want you to lift it up to the center of your forehead. And then you're going to tickle your amygdala, slide that feather over to the right and tickle your amygdala on the right. Imagine that it's inside your brain, tickling the amygdala. And then you're going to slide it over to the left and tickle your amygdala on the left. And then you just pull it out. It always makes me feel good. I always smile when I'm done. Oh, it's a nice glow. I always smile when I'm done. And it really does help me. So tonight's topic, we're veering off the track a little bit of what we normally do. Usually on Wednesday nights, we do a book discussion. But tonight, I felt like this was necessary to address. And that is thinking positive. So I remember a friend of mine said something to me one day about not having enough money. This was years ago. And I said, well, you know, you have to think positive. This is like when I first was learning about positive thinking and law of attraction and all of that. And I said to him, well, you know, you have to think positive about money. And he said, I am thinking positively about money. I positively don't have any. And that made me laugh, okay? But it also got me to thinking, you know, what is positive thinking really? And we discuss Neville here in the Indigo room. And oftentimes, you know, you can basically negate what you are creating or what you're attempting to create or trying to manifest in your imagination by thinking positively and feeling wicky wacky or negative. Because, you know, I personally don't like the word negative. But you can be thinking positive, thinking, all of these positive things, saying your I am statements, you know, and I like to call this the happy face sticker syndrome. Okay? Some of you may suffer from that. The happy face sticker syndrome. What does that mean? That means that you are thinking positive. Yep, you sure are. And you're putting a happy face sticker on some ish that really doesn't feel good, right? So you're saying, well, I'm thinking positive, but inside you're feeling lackful, you're feeling doubtful, you're feeling worried, you're feeling fear, you're feeling despair, you're feeling angry or whatever, but you're walking around smiling. Hi, good morning, Barb. Good rising, Sharon. Hello, Linda. So you know, you smile, but deep down, it might not even be that deep. It might just be rising up here at the surface. You are not feeling your feeling doesn't match the smile. It's a facade. You are faking the funk. And sometimes it's okay to fake the funk, but not if feeling badly is your normal. This may be your normal way of behavior. And so, you see the secret, you read the law of attraction, and you read the book and you go, but Sydney, or you listen to our show even, I don't know. And you start to say, well, I'm doing my I am statements. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. That is because your feeling, what you got going on in here, is not matching what you're thinking. Because our thought and our feeling is the secret ingredient, basically, is what manifests on the outside. So we've been talking about that a lot here in the Indigo room. We have been expressing that feeling is the secret. However, if you've got a whole lot of mishigosh going on up here in your thought process and you're not feeling, it's not matching, then the things that you want to be, do, and have may be not necessarily manifesting for you. So I wanted to just give you all some hints, some techniques, some things that I'm finding or I have found that work for me. And if you have anything that has worked for you, please let me know in the chat. So the first time that I realized this, that my thought and my feeling is what equals my vibration, I was like, well, how do I get my thoughts and my feelings to match? Because I am thinking positively. I am thinking about money all day long. I'm thinking, okay, yes, I have abundance. I'm abundant. But I didn't feel abundant. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't feel it and I wasn't expressing it. It wasn't showing up for me. And one of the things that I found was very helpful, and this, I think I was introduced to the emotional scale from Abraham Hicks, but they are not the first persons to bring it about. And once I can identify your feelings, it's not difficult, but it is, I'm going to say it's not impossible. How about that? You can move your feeling to a better feeling thought, to a better feeling. And then eventually what will happen is you will increase your emotions, your feelings, and they will start to match your thoughts. So Sydney, how does that work? I used to ask myself, how am I going to get from feeling powerlessness or despair or even grief or fear? How am I going to move from those feelings so that I can start to have the feeling match my thoughts? Well, that's when Neville came in. Because being in your imagination is one of the most powerful ways for you to start moving from one state to another, and moving from one feeling to another, and moving from one emotion to another. Here's the thing though. Here's what people, I think, sometimes trip themselves up with, and I used to trip myself up all the time with this. I would be feeling fearful, wicky wacky, like, everything is falling apart. Oh my God, I don't have enough money to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do that, blah, blah. And I was homeless once. Okay. Well, probably not just once, a couple of times in my life. before, I started to understand how my thoughts and my emotion, my feelings create and manifest. And I just couldn't feel my way out of a paper bag if the paper bag was wet. I couldn't do it. It didn't work. I was like, this is not working. Of course, here comes Neville. And when you go into your imagination, the key is to bring whatever it is that you want to be, do, and have. I just wanted to feel better, actually. That was my goal. I just wanted to feel better because I knew if I felt better, if I could feel better, then my feeling would start to match those I am statements, the money statements, the relationship statements, and all those I am statements that I was writing out. But I just wanted to start to feel better. And when you're in fear, you cannot, and this is what I'm trying to say, want you to understand, and I know a lot of people have expressed this, and I did too, in the beginning, you cannot jump from fear to feeling joy and peace and happiness immediately. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work because that's not your normal go-to. Oh, sure, somebody could show up for you and give you, extra money and go, oh, I'm so happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But in the back of your mind, you got this feeling going, well, I don't know when do I have to pay them back? Oh my God, now they gave me money. Now, because fear is your normal flow. So even though something really good just happened, somebody gave you money, or somebody gave you a treat, or somebody took you out to dinner, or something wonderful happened for you, you will immediately go where your level is. This is your normal level of behavior. It's your habit. It's your go-to. This is your normal. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay it back. I don't even know why she treated me like that. It was so nice of her. That was really nice. It was such a wonderful thing. But God, now I owe her, now. So all of a sudden now, your beautiful experience has turned into something that's not really wonderful because your normal is fear, doubt, worry, grief, powerlessness, whatever that may be. So what I'm trying to say is that it's difficult to go from real low feelings, real wicky wacky feelings, to high, positive, joyful feelings all at once. You can do it. There's a saying that goes that I use all the time. You can eat the whole elephant. I don't like to eat elephants. I don't eat meat, but I'm just saying. But you can't eat the elephant whole. That means if you were able to, you couldn't eat it all at once. You could over time, and time could be 30 days. Time could be 3 weeks. Time could be 10 days. But if you're not working on it, then it doesn't even matter how long it takes. So time is your friend, really. Be happy right now that law of attraction is not working for you, because who would want to manifest immediately all of the wicky wacky thoughts that we have going on all day long? Because we have 70 to 80,000 thoughts per day, and 85 of those thoughts are negative. I'm sorry, it's 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and 85% of those are negative. So be glad that law of attraction is not working immediately, is not manifesting for you immediately. Could you imagine all of the crap that you would have in your experience right now if it did manifest immediately? All of the stuff that you would have. It would be crazy. You wouldn't be able to keep up with it. So one of the things that I want to share with you is the emotional guide or the emotional scale. And when you start to realize that the next emotion is always a little bit better than what you might be feeling right now. So fear is like the lowest emotion. It's the lowest you can experience. It's right down here. It's the low one. And joy and love and peace and happiness, that's up here. So you got fear down here and you got joy up here. So you can see where the disparity is, right? So if you're going to make the leap, you would have to do a lot of changing your feelings. So what I like to do is take one thing that I would like to manifest or bring into my experience, just one, especially if you're new to law of attraction, or if you're new to Neville Goddard or I am statements, or any of the stuff that we talk about here in the Indigo room. If you're new to catching your thoughts, what you want to do is ask yourself a question. And this is something that I used to do all the time. And I just wanted to share this with you in hopes that this would help someone. Is first find out if you can figure out what you're feeling about a subject. So if it's a relationship that you're feeling dreadful about, try to identify it a little bit. If you're feeling grief, are you feeling fear? What is it that you're feeling about this thing or this person? If it has to do with money, what is it that you're feeling? Is it the fear of not having enough? Is it lack? Is it worry? Is it doubt? And worry and doubt to me are all parts of fear, but fear is like considered the lowest, right? So if you could identify what you're feeling, and you can create a different feeling. And one of the things that is very helpful is to just move up to a better feeling thought, just one that's feeling just a little bit better, especially in your consciousness. When you're walking around all day long, you got all kinds of wicky wacky thoughts going through your mind. What thought could I be feeling right now that's just a little bit better than what I'm thinking currently? And just try to bring yourself back to that thought. Bring yourself back to that thought. Also, but when you're going into your imagination, this is where the fun really starts to happen. Because what Neville has taught us is to go into our imagination and bring about the tones of reality for whatever it is that you want to be, do, and have. That's why we tickle our amygdala, so that we can flex our imagination muscle. So when you go into your imagination, you get into that sleepy state, not sleep, but just feeling very relaxed. You're almost asleep, but you're not. You're still aware, you're still awake of what's going on. And then you can take a state. What do I mean by state? You can get yourself into a feeling state. And ask yourself a question. What would it feel like if this were true? So if you wanted to be married, let's say, or if you wanted to get a new car, if you wanted to buy a new house, what would this feel like if it were true? And you bring yourself into that moment of feeling it real right now. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to work. You don't know how it's going to manifest itself. But you just want to bring yourself into this feeling that what would it feel like right now if I had this thing, if this thing were true? If you just ask yourself that question, you can immediately feel a shift in yourself. If you say to yourself, what would it feel like if I felt a little bit better? I'm telling you, you'll feel a shift. May not be joy, 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 but it will feel a little bit better. Hi, Linda. Yay, Linda's here. So I want to share with you my screen for a hot second and show you the emotional scale that I'm talking about. All right, let's see. Hold on. Okay. Can you all see that? Wait, I want to make it bigger. I just want to show you my screen. There we go. Can you all see that? The bottom rung is fear. That's the bottom. And then if you go all the way up to the top, it's joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love. Right? Now, you don't have to get all the way up to the top before things start manifesting for you. But you do want your thoughts and your feelings to match so that you can start manifesting. Because your energy has to match, your vibration has to match the thing that you are wanting or desiring to be, do, and have. So if you are fearful, full of grief, full of despair, feeling powerless, which is at the bottom, the majority of the things that you're going to experience in your experience are going to feel like that. You may not necessarily be thinking, I want to have a flat tire today. That's, I don't know anybody that wakes up in the morning and saying, oh my God, I want to have a flat tire. I don't know. Do you guys? I know I don't. However, if you're feeling powerlessness, if you're feeling fear and despair, you could probably attract something like a flat tire. You could probably attract something like an argument with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend, with your kids, with your spouse, with your boss, with your best friend, with your neighbor, with the guy who's supposed to be fixing the flat tire or the gal. You could probably attract losing your keys because that kind of is the same energy, right? You could probably attract missing your train on your way to work. You could probably attract being late. You could probably attract not having enough on your Metro card because you forgot to fill it up. You see where I'm going? Does this make sense? It's not that I am asking for those things. It's not that I want those things. It's just that I'm feeling those things. And my feelings and my thoughts don't necessarily, I may be thinking, oh, I really want money. I really want money. I really want money. I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. I'm feeling despair. I'm feeling despair. Oh, universe said, there's a match. You feeling, because feeling is the secret. And then lo and behold, you start attracting all kinds of things that you really don't want. But you say, but Sydney, I was thinking positive. I used to say this to myself all the time. When I used to say, but I was thinking positive, God. I was thinking positive. Why is this happening? Oh, because, my feelings and my thoughts are not matching. So my dominant feeling is the thing that is creating, because my consciousness, right, doesn't match my dominant feeling. I'm trying to get my dominant feeling to change. And once I do that, better things start to show up. So if we look back on this emotional scale, you'll see the next step up would be insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. Now those feel kind of wicky wacky too, right? However, it feels better than if you are looking at fear, grief, despair, and powerlessness. It's just a little bit better. We didn't try to eat the elephant whole. We just moved up the scale a little bit, just a little bit. And we start to feel a little bit better. Okay. You moved up the scale a little bit. How did you move up the scale a little bit? Well, you may have felt a little bit guilty about feeling powerless. Like, why was I feeling that way? Oh my God, I feel so stupid. I feel so guilty. Okay, that's wicky wacky, but it feels better than fear. And then you may move up to anger or rage, because now you're so angry with yourself. Here's the key. The key is not to stay in those emotions. The key is to move through them. They're telling you something. They're like a guidepost. They're giving you direction. It doesn't mean that you want to stay in these places of jealousy or hatred or fear, anger, discouragement. No, that's not it. You just want to move this energy that you got, this vibration that you got, that's bringing all kinds of devastation. It's bringing all kinds of dis-ease and disease. You want to move that energy. We want to move it. That's it. So next, you may be feeling a little bit anger at yourself, or, geez, you can be feeling angry at your boss. You want to get revenge. We know that revenge is not a great thing. We know that. But it feels better than fear and powerlessness. Not a whole lot better, but it does feel better. You're angry. Now you want to do something about it. Your boss set you off. Now you're angry. Instead of feeling powerless, you feel anger. And sometimes when you feel anger, you feel like, well, you know what? You know what I'm going to say to him next time I see him? You know what I'm going to do next time? Now you're not powerless. You're starting to feel a little bit powerful. You don't want to stay there, of course, because we don't want to do something that, we don't want to seek revenge. We don't want to do something in anger, but you feel better. Okay? So now you want to move up. You want to move up. You see how we're moving up. You just want to move up. Well, it is all his fault. It's all his fault. It's the reason why I was late today. It's the reason why I lost my keys. I blame him. He don't know what you're doing. He doesn't know that you're working on yourself. You just, it's all his fault. I blame him. Okay. Now you want to move up a little bit. Well, I really don't want to lose my job. I really, really don't want to lose my job. That's really not a good thing to do. It's just, it's really not his fault. but I don't want to lose my job. So maybe you're feeling a little bit worried. You're a little doubtful. You're moving up, and you may feel overwhelming. Now, you want to get from overwhelmment to frustration and impatience, pessimism, boredom. I'm really bored at this job. You see how I went from powerlessness up to boredom now? When I finally figure it out, I'm bored. Maybe this is the reason why I don't like this job. Maybe this is the reason why I'm trying to figure out how to create a new job. I want to move to a new place. I want to do some new things. I'm kind of bored. You move up, you move up, you move up. Now, in your imagination, you can shift and change and start to figure out, well, what may I want to do? Maybe there's something that I really would like to explore in my experience. Now you went from fearfulness up to boredom, which is green. And, we're just saying it feels better. You're looking at all of the feelings that you have come from and you moved up. It could be minutes that this happens for you, or it could take days that it happens for you. Everybody's different. Everybody moves through emotions differently. So you can't judge how fast you move through your emotions by somebody else. Somebody else may take 2 weeks, a month, 90 days, a year. Somebody else may do it in 10 minutes. I'm pretty good at it now, and I can get through my emotions pretty quickly on most things. There are still some things that I have difficulty with. You know why? Because I'm a human being. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. We all are. So, but you want to be easy with yourself as you move up to boredom and contentment. You can say, well, really, I'm kind of content with my job right now. It's really not that bad. And my boss, he could be annoying. He's really not that bad. I'm feeling a little bit hopeful. Maybe I can start putting out my resumes, get my resumes together and start putting my resumes out and see, get my feelers. You go into your imagination and you imagine the end. What's the end? What's the result? What do you want to have? Now you are feeling a little bit better. Now your thought process, your feeling is starting to rise up to your I am statements and your thoughts that you're working on, your conscious thoughts. It's starting to rise up a little bit, a lot of it. It's starting to come to a match. And when you are in contentment and hopefulness, or hopefulness, you're eager, you start to feel a little bit differently. And this is where your imagination really starts to kick in. Because you get in there and you can see and feel that it could be possible. And you're in your imagination feeling good. And when you bring something into your imagination that you want to be, do, and have that you've never had before, sometimes it's difficult. But when you can go into your thought process, go into your feeling and into your imagination, not worrying about how it's going to happen. Don't mess with the middle, like Linda says. Don't mess with the middle. No. You don't mess with the middle. You just think about what it is that you want to be, do, and have. Bring it into your imagination right now, as if it's happening right now, as if you're feeling it right now, today. Feel it as if it's real right now, in a way that you have no idea how it's going to come about. Because the how is not your job. The feeling is your job. I'm going to have to mute myself. Okay, sorry. I had to mute myself because there was a fire truck alarms going past the building. So you want to bring whatever's in your imagination into and give it the tones of reality. So here's my sage container. I want to imagine a sage container. I want to imagine my smudge container. I don't have one. I've never had one. This is what it looks like. I want to imagine this and feel something similar. I want to make sure that I feel it as if it's real, as if it's happening right now, as if I have it right now, and stay in the end. Because the middle part, how it's going to show up, that is not my job. So I want to get back to the, emotional scale. And you can see that I'm feeling a little bit hopeful. And when I'm feeling hopeful and my thoughts and my vibration start to match, because I worked on my feelings. My thought and my feelings start to match. My vibration, my energy frequency is going up. It's getting higher. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling next, maybe it's positive expectation or belief or optimism. I'm feeling good about this particular thing. And when you work on your feelings and you start to bring them up to a level of matching your actual thought, the things that you want to be, do, and have start to show up for you in ways that you could not have figured out on your own. You couldn't do it. But your higher self, your source, your God self, your I am self, your power within you has a way of knowing everybody on the planet, of knowing every nook and cranny, of knowing where all the money is, of knowing where everything is that you want to be, do, and have. And if you stay in your imagination or go into your imagination often enough, and the best time to do it is as you drift off to sleep or right before you drift off to sleep, you will start to see your feelings start to shift and change. And you won't just be putting a happy face sticker and saying that you're happy, and you won't just be faking the funk, and people will start to say and see a shift in you, and they'll say, well, Sid, what did you do? What's going on? Now, you can tell them what you did, but I wouldn't. I would keep it to myself, because 9 times out of 10, they won't believe you anyway. You can send them over to the Indigo room and we could help them here. But now you may start to feel enthusiasm for your job, even though you've put out, your resumes. You may start to feel enthusiasm for an eagerness and happiness in the space that you're in, even though maybe you want to move into a new house. You start to appreciate the things that you have, even though you may want something better, even though you may want to start your own business. I don't know, whatever it is. But once you start to move up the emotional scale and your thought matches, and you bring your thoughts to match what you're feeling, a whole lot of things start to shift and change. Because your thought and your feeling is, if you're feeling despair, and even though you're saying, I'm rich, I'm happy, I'm joyful, it's not matching your feeling. And your dominant feeling, if you don't get this, if I don't give you this, if you don't understand this, out of everything that I've said, I want you to understand this the most. Your dominant feeling is what is going to manifest for you in experiences that you're probably not going to want, not going to like. So it's always the dominant feeling that manifests. Okay, Linda has put something in the chat. Let me bring my face back over here. Linda says, I've noticed that 2 years ago compared to now, that when I pay attention to how I feel, I do move through the emotions more quickly than 2 years ago. Yes. I am also much more aware of my feelings and catch myself sooner than 2 years ago. Absolutely. As you move through your feelings and move through the emotional scale, and get into your imagination, do the work in your imagination, you will find that it gets easier. And here's the thing: we are multi-layered beings. Multi-layered. We have thoughts and feelings about all kinds of things. Just because I may be feeling good about money doesn't mean I may be feeling great about my relationships. Just because I feel, good about my job doesn't mean that I feel good about my car. It doesn't mean that I feel good about my relationship with my kids. It doesn't mean that just because I have a great relationship with my kids and I feel great about them, doesn't mean that I have a good vibration about my spouse. So we are multi-layered, and some things can manifest for people like that. Like that. Because they have a good feeling about it, and their good feeling about that particular subject matches their thought. They jump into the imagination, and bingo, bammo, boom, it's here. And some people may not have a good feeling about that for whatever reason, because maybe maybe when they were kids, things were planted in their minds subconsciously, programmed, like we all are programmed from the age of 7 by our environment and by our experience. Now, you can jump from feelings of fear and despair just to joy. But if your normal emotion is fear, you won't be able to maintain it, and you won't stay there very long. And that's what happens. Sometimes people crash and they come down and they have this big crash and they go, well, I don't understand it. I was feeling good and I was feeling positive and things were working, and then bam, something took them out. And they came crashing down. Because their normal is at, maybe it's at fear, maybe it's at discouragement or whatever, or somebody said something to them and it triggered something that they really didn't really work on, before, and they got rid of it. Don't be upset with yourself. Don't be upset with yourself. It happens to everyone. It happened to Jesus. It happens to everybody. So you have to, number one, be a little bit gentler with yourself, be kinder to yourself, and just get back in there and say, okay, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Does this feeling match what I'm asking for or what I'm stating? Does this feeling match my I am statement? I am rich. Does this feeling of lack match that? No. Okay, so how am I going to move from fear to abundance? How am I going to do that? Again, that is the question that you ask yourself. What does abundance feel like? Or what would it feel like to me? Oh, I would feel relief. I would feel less afraid. I would feel secure. I would feel joyful. Okay. So what thought could you be thinking right now that has nothing to do with money? Doesn't have anything to do with that. What thought could you be thinking right now that would give you a joyful feeling? Oh, well, I really, really love spending time with my grandkids, Sydney. Okay. So when you go into your imagination and you are feeling wicky wacky about your money, and you're going, oh my God, I'm never going to have enough money. Oh my God, I'm never going to have enough money. I feel joyful when I think about my children, my grandchildren. I feel good. I would go there in my thoughts, feel that feeling of joy, because that's the same feeling you would feel if all of your bills were paid and you didn't have this worry about money. I would get that feeling in my, feel it. And then use that same feeling when I go into my imagination and I go, all of my bills are paid. I would bring myself into my imagination and go to one spot in my mind where all of my bills are paid, using that feeling of joy that I just felt when I was thinking about my grandbabies. I don't have grandbabies, but you know. Does that make sense? As we all are, Sharon. What did Sharon write? Oh, I'm a work in progress. Girl, we're all a work in progress. I'm a work in progress all day long. Are you kidding? That's why I can bring stuff to you, because I do it to myself. I'm a work in progress all day long. Yes, you're in good company. You're in great company, because if we are works in progress, that means we're doing the work. Right? So does that make sense? Is that helpful? Did that help, like the emotional scale? Okay. So I wanted to just, I wanted to make sure I went all the way up to the top. Oops, sorry. Did I go all the way up to the top of the emotional scale? Yeah, I think I did. Joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love. And you may feel at some point, you may feel that high level upon, about some things. And some things you may feel in between about. So that's what I mean when I say we're all multi-layered. We feel different things about we feel differently about different subjects and different topics. I may have a great vibration about cooking. I may love to cook. And you may want to learn how to cook, but you think that you can't cook, so you feel despair because every time you cook, you burn something. And you feel afraid that you're never going to be able to, learn how to do that. So there's all kinds of things that we have different vibes about. And you see this all the time. People are telling us all the time, raise your vibe, raise your vibe, raise your vibe, high vibrations, keep your vibe high, But if you don't know how to do that, it could drive you nuts. It can really drive you crazy, and you can think that something's wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with you. You just haven't had the instruction on how to do that. And that's where, That's where the Indigo Room comes in. And me as a coach, that's where I come in sometimes to help people. So I wanted to just give you encouragement. And I forgot to put that up again. You know, always forget to put up the banners. That thinking positive and feeling negative, if you're thinking positive and feeling negative, that's when the law of attraction does not work, because you are causing it. It's like you have a negative thought and you have a positive thought, and they're both hitting each other, and then nothing works, nothing manifests. And then you're out there going, well, you know, this law of attraction is bull, doesn't work. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working. It's working for you. Even if you don't believe it's working, it's still working. Because if you're still feeling wicky wacky, you're experiencing wicky wackiness. You're having wicky wacky experiences. And so it is working. But you want to have better experiences. And for order for that to happen, your feeling has to match your thought. And that equals your vibration. And you get to be able to do that in your imagination. Katrina Taylor, she created the fundraiser for the Indigo Room. So if you would like to support the build for the Indigo Room, you can visit the Indigo Room at theindigoroom.org, and you know, help the Indigo Room out. We're building, we're looking for new equipment. We have new equipment that we need to get. So the fundraiser is over in October 3rd. So there's a little sense of urgency. If you haven't donated, please, you know, it would be great if you did. Yes, I'm doing a little begging. I ain't gonna lie. And you can, you'll get some gifts. We have gifts for you if you do donate. And if you don't, that's okay. Just share it on your social media. The goal is $5,000. We're right now at $430. So it drifted, you know, we got a little bit of stagnation there. So we want to push this out, and you can find the link on the indigoroom.org and share it. Even if you don't donate, share it. That's great. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click the Indigo Room logo, which will pop up over here on the corner. Let me see if I could do this right. It's going to pop up right over here. And just hit that little icon. And if you're interested in some coaching sessions with me, Sydney, you can email me at theindigoroom2@gmail.com. I will definitely, I am imagination, I am consciousness, intuition coach, and I can help you help yourself. If you want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the links are in the channel banner. It has my face up there and the Indigo Room logo. Or you can find them in the description below. So all the links to everything is in the description below. If you want to, you can purchase my book. I finally have access to it after 2 years of lockdown from Amazon. You can read all about that on the indigoroom.org. It's called Mind Garden of Eden. It's a Kindle book. We're looking now to make it into a paperback, but I have access to it. Hallelujah! Yay! And you can purchase it. It's only $2.99. You can purchase it through Amazon for your Kindle or whatever, you know. It's a PDF, so you can read it. And of course, the website is open, and it's thanks to Linda Patrick, who has helped us immensely getting it set up and getting it ready. So now I'm in there working on things. So it's at the indigoroom.org. And yeah, I want to say thank you to one of our donors, one of our Indigo Room donors, Sandy Daly. Sandy started out with us in the Indigo Room as well. Sandy started out with us in the Indigo Room. She kind of wandered in, just sort of like Linda did in 2009. And she hung out with us, stayed with us, and then created her own podcast and did her own things. There's a lot of people that started out in the Indigo Room that have become teachers from the Indigo Room since we started in 2007 that have grown and have created their own platforms and have done amazing things. And Sandy, she donated, she's one of our donors to the indigoroom.org fund. And we want to say thank you, Sandy. We appreciate you. We love you. And we are looking forward to seeing what you create next. And remember the happy face sticker syndrome. You do not want to put a happy face sticker on your stuff, on your ish. I can't say, the other word because, I can't do that on YouTube. I'll get flagged. But don't put a happy face sticker on your ish, on your feelings. Don't walk around with a smiley face on your face, even though you're feeling badly. Start to work on your feelings to bring your feelings to match the things, the thoughts that you have. If you want to create a better life for yourself. So if you're saying, I am happy, then you have to start working on your feelings to match the happiness. Because if you're just saying, I am happy, and you're feeling wicky wacky, that's putting a happy face sticker on ish. And you are faking the funk. And I don't want you faking the funk in the Indigo Room. I want you to feel good. I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to be, do, and have all that you desire to be, do, and have. And it is possible. That's all I'm saying. It's possible for you to do that. You just got to get your feeling to match your thought and your vibration so that you can start to manifest the things that you want to be, do, and have. And it's not always easy, but it's definitely not impossible. And you can do it. I want to thank you, Linda. Oh, you like that, Barb? Barb said, I like ish. Wanda bought the book. Hi, Wanda. Sharon said, I love that book. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know so many people bought that book. Hi. I didn't know you bought the book. That's so cool. Okay. Well, I want to also just let you know that if you listen to the Indigo Room, when we leave, you can watch the video that pops up over here. I think there's going to be one over here. There might be one over here. There'll probably be one over here. And then just hit my face if you want to subscribe to the Indigo Room. I don't know where they pop up after I'm done. Sometimes they pop up all over the place, but they'll pop up and hey girl. And I remember when I was online, now I will buy the book. Oh, great. Thanks, Barb. You can get that on the indigoroom.org. If you click on Divine Timing, the book is right there. You'll be able to, well, it'll pop up. It's right there. Everything's on the website of theindigoroom.org, and you can purchase the book there. So remember who you are. Remember that you are source energy right here in a physical body. Remember that you can be, do, and have anything that you desire. And remember, it's not being extraordinary that makes you unique. It is your uniqueness that makes you extraordinary. And I will see you all on Sunday. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Wanda. Linda, thank you. Have a great week. I love you guys. Bye.